On Mr. Heeley, what do? We love you, Leeds.
Leeds.
Hey up, everyone. Welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds. Bit of a subscriber show today. I'm joined by my good friend Sean Heeley for the duration. How you doing, buddy?
Great, mate. Great, yeah, it's great, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, buddy. I'm a little bit down that we ain't got a game and I ain't going to get to Grace Ellen Road for a fair few months. But
Yeah,
each day there's some sort of exciting news or transfer rumours. And to be fair, as much as I don't really like talking about them on here, it's quite exciting as a fan, especially some of the players we're linked with, Sean. Whether they're right or wrong, it's exciting to be in Premier League,
yeah,
isn't it, buddy?
yeah. No, it's great at the moment. Like all the excitement of who we're gonna get, who we're not gonna get. Everybody's ideas of who we should get and who we shouldn't get, and who we're gonna be having up front, and who's going to play some Meslier next season. It's gonna be brilliant.
Well, the fact you're Irish, before we start bringing people on, the fact you're Irish, I've got to touch on the whole Kelleher link today. 40 million quid. I've seen you in group chat earlier.
I know.
You said go get him, but 40 million quid, Sean.
I know. It is a bit steep, but
a bit.
It's a bit steep.
Bloody hell, mate! It's extortionate.
I think if we can keep us, if we get a good keeper and he keeps us up, it'll pay it back in no time.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably top of every fan's shopping list when it comes to a goalkeeper. I think just reading between lines and hearing other fans how they speak about that position, but I think 40 million is such a big dent into maybe 100, 150 million. Hopefully,
I also think it's the most important sign to get this season is a proper goalkeeper.
I can't disagree with that, Sean. I mean, you think we got Darlow to sort of end season, and he was serviceable. He got us over the line. But I think in the Prem, we're going to concede that many more shots. We need someone who's actually going to win your points as opposed to just being steady. We need a bit of an X factor sort of signing, I think, in between posts, mate. I have to agree.
Yeah.
Whether 40 million is a bit too much, I would say, but I think Kelleher would be everyone's pick, but I think he stand out.
And also, I think a lot of teams will have that idea that they're not stupid. They know we need a keeper. So what are they going to do? It's Leeds United. What are they going to do? They're going to pump up the price. They know we're going to get run by the 49ers. They know we have money in the back pocket. Yeah. They're going to pump up prices.
100%, mate. Obviously, we're going to be after a whole host of players this summer, but goalkeeper's going to be, like you say, they could probably slap another few million on top just because they know how desperate we are for a keeper. You know, Meslier's bloopers this season have been there for everyone to see. And like you said, it's our most important position probably. It's been highlighted in media as well. Everybody knows we need a keeper. So, yeah I mean, Kelleher, if we want him, we go spend that money, don't we? But at least, you know, with someone like him, he's sort of proven in Prem at a high level. He hasn't played a lot of games, but he's played enough, I think, at a top side like Liverpool to suggest he'll have a good career, and he's got many years ahead of him. So you could get a lot out of him, even though it is a lot of money, buddy. So yeah, he's the one I'm really excited for. If I'm honest.
And also he's playing a lot of international football as well.
Yeah, he has to be fair, buddy. He has. Let's get into the comments and see who's in the house. Danny, smash a like and subscribe. Cheers, buddy. Scooby, evening, not smoked since Saturday and haven't murdered anybody. My already huge intake of tea and coffee has skyrocketed, though. I'm feeling even more slightly mad than usual. Not wrong with a bit of madness. We're all mad in here.
I'm mad at me.
Yeah, so the link's in the chat. I can see Danny down there waiting. So if anybody else wants to join, I hope you do. The link is in the chat. I'll keep putting it in throughout the show. My son's in. Hey up, Jack. Hope you're well, mate. Hey up, Robbo, you all right, buddy? Peacock of Whites, Brookie, hey mate. Mike, hey up, Matt, evening all. Danny Green, Stevie, how you doing? Watch Snake Bites. Get the West Ham keeper, he's free. Is that Fabianski, Andrew?
I did say that, but everybody kept saying he was like 41, so I was like, maybe not.
he's a bit long in tooth, isn't he? But
I didn't realise that at the time.
He's really old, to be fair. Rumour has it Fabianski's leaving on a free. Might be a good sign. Yeah, it looks like West Ham have released 4 or 5. One of them, Kufal, who we're linked with as well, which I won't mind. We'll get into that later. The links, Robbo, how do you do? Cagey today said Meslier is worth 12 million in the market. I disagree. Higher or lower, Andy? What would you say, Sean? I'd say we'd be lucky to get 12 million. What would you say?
12 bags of Chris for him. He's playing the season.
It's mad, isn't it, when you think going back maybe 4 years when we first got him 4 or 5 years, we expected him to be a 30, 40, 50 million pound player by now.
Mate, honestly, one keeper, we're all saying that.
Yeah, honestly, I thought if you'd have told me in 5 years' time he'd be worth 12 packets of Chris, mate, I'd have laughed at you. I expected him to be worth honestly 50 million or something. I thought he was going to be that. But,
I don't think the relegation season helped them. I think it was the way you conceded so many goals when we got relegated, and the way we conceded them, I think it just completely knocked them.
Yeah, no, 100%. Mate, I haven't really recovered from that season. As he picking ball out of net time and time again, and then ever since then,
It's a shame.
He's gone. Yeah, it's a shame. It is a shame, buddy. Andy Rowe, this is Stu Sean. Did you like the Leeds legends?
Absolutely loved it. Great day. Great seeing Beckford. It was great seeing Mel Sterling was there. Russell Cork was there. That was a good feeling there. It was a brilliant day.
Yeah, look, class, mate. I watched all the Leeds Bros video this morning.
Yeah.
Watched Jer's video. Just you spoiled rotten that he were in Ireland, that one, mate, because I'd have loved to have gone there. Just absolutely class day, and all for a great cause as well. So
yeah, it's a great cause. It's a fantastic cause and stuff like that. And it's been years since I've been to Carlisle ground because Bray haven't been in the Premier League hasn't been in the Irish League for a couple of years. So it was nice to see the Carlisle ground and stuff like that again.
Yeah, 100%. Zico. Yeah, whatever. Right, we're gonna bring Danny Rumsey in, mate. Bring your pal in, Sean, and my pal. Here he is, the main man, Mr. Rumsey. Hiya, buddy.
Hey up.
And you on about goalkeepers? What was said to you, Matt?
What have you said to me? We speak a lot. Come
on. about Leeds pressing other teams out.
Yeah, you said Meslier will still be between our posts, haven't you, pal?
Yep, he'll start the season in goal.
It better be a madness he's talking there, mate. It better be a madness.
I've got a funny feeling that they're asking around about 15 to 18 million for him.
Yeah, my main worry with Leeds is this season. There's a few players like that where I think we may think more of them than what other teams will, Danny. So I mean, I think they'll have to budge on Millie. I think they'll take what they can, me. But I am worried of that with certain players, even down Bamford and stuff like that. I think Leeds will have a price, and if they play hardball, then we might be stuck with them. And if we're stuck with Meslier, mate, there'll be a lot of disgruntled fans. Danny, I mean, you think that, but you're not going to be happy with that, are you? You don't want him.
No, I don't want him here, but I've got a feeling like Bamford will still be here with what he said on that FPN thing or CBS thing that he wants it in the Premiership. So he'll still be here. I think Joseph goes. I think Nonto goes. And I know Sean's not going to like this, but if we get a big for Tanaka, I think he'll go as well.
It really?
Yep.
What do you deem big? 30
million.
Yeah, it'd be it's like 10 times what we paid for him in 12 months. So it's just something we've got to get right, pal. That's for sure. The signings we've got to bring in, we've got to retain the right players and let the right players move on. I mean, we've kept hold of some of these players a bit too long. Your Bamfords, your Mesliers. I think this is the season to move them on, regardless. I mean,
same with Pascal. I think he could go as well.
Yeah, I mean Pascal, Joseph, Gruev, Nonto. They're the ones I'm looking at who potentially may move.
You see, I'm not looking at Gruev moving on. I think he'll stay. I think he's better in that CDM than what Ampadu is. Ampadu's better at centre back.
We ain't going to see Ethan at centre back for me in Prem. I don't think it's going to happen.
It depends who we sign, doesn't it, and how fit they are, and they don't get injured.
Yeah, I mean, we've said a few times that we've spoken. Championship level, I think he's been better at centre half than centre mid. I think he's actually shown he's a better player there at that level. I think in Prem, I don't think he'd be able to cope about me against the likes of Haaland and people like that. I think you need a proper strong centre half from Europe. I think we need to go sign that. For me, our best centre half still isn't at the club. I think we'll go out and bring a really top drawer in to part of the road on for me.
Well, we've been linked with that Colombian, haven't we, from Bologna?
Yeah, it looks really good. Problem is though, lads, we're linked with these players, and so it's about 6 to 10 other Premier League sides, aren't there? Everton, Palace, they're all Everton players. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how every player that we're going for, Everton's going for, is Angus been looking at paperwork that he shouldn't have been looking at.
That's the worry.
Wouldn't be surprised.
We were saying before, Sean, weren't we? Like, I think maybe with someone like him, like we should have got him out of the club, put him on garden leave or something when he announced he were going to come in. Maybe we should have got him out of the club early days.
Should have chucked him out of the club.
I think so. To be there right to end, and now we're linked with players that they're linked with. It's not a good feeling. We head to head with Angus now. We've been there till only last week. It's a bit too.
It doesn't make me feel confident. It doesn't make me feel confident that the first night is right in their mind. Not to be just does not realise that he's going to a different club. He might know who we're trying to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and Everton will be able to sell them. Oh yeah, new stadium and this and that and all, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the rumours we've seen, Danny, there's some crazy ones. Which ones tickle your fancy? Which ones do you think are pie in the sky?
I've heard another rumour today. I don't know how true it is. Don't take me up on this, but Simicast from Liverpool left back.
Who's that, mate? Sorry.
Simicast from Liverpool left back.
Yeah, I like him. I don't know how much game time he's had this season.
I don't. That's the only rumour. I've heard that as a rumour today. I've heard that they've actually spoken to his people, but don't know how true it is.
Yeah,
I just got told. So,
what about James McAtee?
McAtee, I think 25. Yeah, McAtee, 25 million is a good price, but I think he'll go to Leverkusen.
Yeah, that's the issue. Like I say, when I looked at the host of sides that were linked with him, it's all right with your Evertons and your Palaces. I think we can compete with them. Anyone outside Europe, we've got a decent chance for me.
Yeah.
When you're looking at teams who are in and around Europe and stuff like that, it's definitely going to be a tough one for Leeds. I mean, the whole Solomon saga now with Marseille. I mean, Everton are linked with him again now, which is just pissing me off. Linked with everyone, but how do we compete with Marseille? I know we might be Leeds United, we're in Premier League, but how can you compete with Champions League football?
It's not that. It's not.
I'd be Yorkshire to France.
Yeah, but it's not that though. Marseille have got a decent manager in that De Zerbi, haven't they? So
class manager.
And he played under De Zerbi in was it Russia or Ukraine?
For Shakhtar Donetsk, wasn't it?
Yeah, played under De Zerbi there.
They've already got. I mean, do you see the Solomon deal as vital, Danny, or do you think we can manage elsewhere?
If we don't get him in, we need to get somebody else in because I think we need to get a right winger in because I think he'll play Nonto and Ramazani on the left, and we need to get somebody in on right to cover Dan James.
Yeah,
if we don't get him in.
I did a video on that today, Danny, and I sort of see that as well. Sean, do you worry that Jack Harrison might be sticking around?
Yeah, you know what you said.
No.
Popping off over that one. Is he still at the club? Still at the club, flipping clickbait.
He's still here. But, no, I agree with Danny on that one. I actually think you may see Ramazani and Nonto on left. James on right with another. I think they may look on that right hand side for another player.
I think that's what'll happen. Yeah, I think we'll have to look for a new left winger then.
I think so. I would like a left footer though, Danny. I said it on that video earlier. I'd like a left footer, a different profile, but that different profile does not want to be Harrison, mate.
Well, Ramazani can use both feet, can't he?
Yeah, brilliant with his left foot. He's not a natural left footer, but he is good with both. But I would like a different profile to them. I always look at Ramazani and Nonto and think they're fairly similar. I think Dan James is the only out and out proper winger we've got. He's been back and down winger. I'd love to get like a left footer in there, someone like a Harrison, but who's 10 times fucking better than Harrison. But that sort of profile, someone who's got a good first touch, someone who can whip a decent ball in. Total opposite of Harrison. Like Harrison's got one of the best first touches I've ever seen, and then the rest of his footballing is absolutely dog shit. Which is a bit of a shame, but I mean, how much they're going to get for Harrison? Because
Harrison's not bad.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even say 11 million. I'd say probably around about 8. I'd take.
What's that? Cage, you said 11 million. Gruev 12 to 40.
Yeah.
2 million. Harrison might be worth. Yeah, I mean, I think Harrison.
2 mil. That's a rip off.
Bamford 2 mil. I think Gruev's right. I think we turned down bids of about 12 last year, didn't we? I mean, we're a Premier League side now, so I'd be expecting him to be in around 15. Harrison's a tough one, Danny, because we might not rate him, but he's had 5 years in Prem straight through. 5.
Yeah, but
in a row, so
I look at it as what's he done in the Premier. He's kept us up one season,
and he's injury prone as well.
Yeah, not that. What else? He's hot and cold. What else has he done, really?
No, I get that, mate. I get that. How do you feel about the prospect of Kelleher coming in? Then I know you said there'll be Meslier, but do you think 40 million prices out of Kelleher as well, Paul?
I've been saying it for weeks. I heard it was 40 million they wanted before it even come out. 40 million. I said we've got no chance of getting him. I want Nick Pope.
How much would he be worth?
Well, he's on his last. He's on his last year of his contract, so probably around about 8-10 million.
Yeah, like
that wouldn't be bad. Yeah, Nick Pope.
I think when you compare the values there, I think Nick Pope would do a sterling job for a third.
I wouldn't be mad about that. No, I wouldn't be mad about it if we got him in.
But Ramsdale?
No.
Why though? Why is everyone so no against Ramsdale?
How
Well,
many times?
Ramsdale
Don't say
didn't.
relegation.
No, Ramsdale didn't. I'm not saying about relegation. Ramsdale did an interview not too long back and said that I never concentrate on a full 9 minutes of football. Do you really want that as your goalkeeper?
Well, we had it for the last 3 years, didn't we? Couldn't concentrate for 2 fucking minutes.
Yeah, he doesn't concentrate about full 90, but he concentrates more than Mez, I think, pal. I don't know, mate. I think, you know what I think that is? I think it's just a very confident player. I think he knows. I mean, you don't see Ramsdale make howler after howler to sort of back up the fact he don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? I think he does give a shit. I think it's just probably a bit of a confidence, having a bit of a laugh and a joke, and it's sort of stuck with him as that. It's not something I think he's not paying attention. But yeah, I remember him saying that. What a big thing at the time. But I'd have Ramsdale. He'd probably be my third choice. So I mean, I'd rather have Ramsdale than Sam Johnson, Danny. People.
I don't want Sam Johnson. Sam Johnson don't want Ramsdale. Pope. Who else is there? Somebody at Brighton as well. What's that goalkeeper's name at Brighton? Steele. Yeah, I'd have Steele.
Yeah. He sort of come good in, and I remember him being at Sunderland on that documentary. They were really struggling. Then he went to Brighton and ended up being Brighton's number one for a year or two, didn't he? Which says he's doing all right. Andy, is Kane's going to be third choice in the Prem? I'd have to say. Well, I'd say no, but you never know.
I think so because I think Meslier be told you're going to be second choice keeper. I get stuffed.
No, because I don't think Kane will be third choice. I think Darlow might go third choice. Meslier second if he ends up staying, and then we get a new goalkeeper.
Meslier won't stay around. Meslier's not going to stay around to be number 2 keeper.
Well, he don't deserve to be number 1.
But in his head, he would not want to be number. He would not.
But what Danny's saying, Sean, is Leeds will price him out of a move. So if Leeds don't accept the bid, Meslier will have to do whatever as he's told, sort of thing. So I get what Danny's saying there, but for me, I don't think Leeds are going to be able to refuse any bid, even if it's 5, 6. I don't think they'll be able to refuse. I think too much horse passed on the bridge. I think they'll have to take what they can get.
Just take as much as you can. Just get rid of him. Just get rid of him.
I agree. I think Ken's. I said in my keep, loan and sell. I said Ken's a go, but thinking about it for the whole, I think part of the homegrown and all that. I think he stays now. I don't think he'll kick up a fuss. I think he'll stay. Darlow's an interesting one though, because I could see Darlow now after getting his confidence back, and I feel like Justin says here, now Wales number 1, lads. Maybe he wants that move to a top end championship again. You know, he could be a number 1 for a top end championship side, 100%.
Yeah, he could go to a Leicester or an Ipswich, couldn't he, or something next season, or
Southampton. You know, easily could just go play there and try and get
Swap him for Ramsdale.
Yeah, is Ramsdale on loan at Southampton? They signed him, didn't they?
I don't know if they signed him. Is he still on loan from Arsenal, or is he?
I'm not sure. Someone in chat might know. I felt like they signed him for like decent money, but I might be wrong with that because they spent a lot of money Southampton, didn't they? I don't know if he was one of the ones that spent a lot on. Lads, would you play Darlow or Meslier in the Premier if we didn't sign a keeper? It'd be Darlow, mate.
Darlow. I'd pay anybody to fucking Meslier.
I'd play Darlow. Everybody else would play Darlow, but I think Farker would play Meslier.
Yeah. Like Herbert says, you've got to cut your losses at this point. I think he'll go back to France, Andrew. I think it's the only.
Send him back in his boat.
I think that's all the place he'll end up be.
I'd like to send him on the Titanic.
I keep Darlow's number 1. To be fair, would you, Justin, in Prem?
Yeah, well, he's played for Newcastle, hasn't he? He's played for Newcastle in Premiership.
He is a sound keeper, though.
Yeah, well, they haven't put a foot wrong, so it'd be interesting to see how that develops. But for me, like Justin says, they spend on a 9 and 10. I get that everyone's got the preferences to positions, the fancy, and the thing is the most important. But I'm with you, Sean, and that I think the goalkeeper is massive this season. Like, not only does he not want to make any howlers, for me, I want a keeper who's going to win us points. So that's the difference. You know, you look at what Burnley had with Trafford. He didn't concede many points, but he won them points. So the gulf between what we lost with Meslier and what Burnley gained with Trafford were probably about fucking 25 points in difference.
Yeah.
You know, when you top up the minus to their plus, we need someone who's going to win us points, Danny, when we're down that bottom end of the table.
Oh, no, we do. But I've just got a funny feeling that Leeds are going to price teams out of it. I don't know why. I've just got that feeling.
I was playing Buffon, actually. I didn't just play Buffon instead of Meslier.
He's not still going, Robbo. You're having a laugh. He's not still going. Never.
Buffon, no, didn't he go into management?
He went back to Parma, didn't he? I
Was
think
he
to end
actually,
his
yeah.
career, but surely he's not still going Robbo. But you never know. Hey up, Tezza, hope you well.
But everybody's saying Fabianski at West Ham is too old, 40-year-old. Now I'd rather bring somebody like that in that Mez can learn off of. You know what I mean?
Mez to be number one keeper now. I don't want Mez to be number one keeper now, Danny.
No, but Fabianski will be. Well, if play Fabianski, Mez can learn off him.
No, I think Fabianski needs to go. I think Fabianski's done now at top level. Andy Rose says goalkeepers are anomalies. We see a lot of great saves with a weak defence, but our keeper, top of the league, doesn't have to make many saves. Gary Sprake was just a good average keeper. What do you reckon of that, boys?
Yeah, Gary Sprake, what careless on you, Gary Sprake.
That's why I'm giving you.
But the problem we have is Meslier's not average. He's worse than average.
Yeah, sometimes in life, man, when you lose your confidence, you know,
Yeah,
we've seen now he hasn't been able to win it back, and you know what it is? He's got to that point now where it turns a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've ended the season on a high, and everyone was cheering for Meslier on bus top, and it's sort of past now. But if we've seen him again, he makes another mistake. We said this when he dropped him, thank God. It started to turn toxic, and we want the young. He's still a young keeper. We want him as Leeds fans to go away and become that keeper that we all thought he could become. You know, we don't wish him not but the best. But for us, it's just time to move on now. We need that chapter at Leeds United to move on now. You know, we're moving on as a club out with stadium plans, Premier League, all exciting. I don't want to see the first name on T-sheet come August, fucking Meslier. It'll just put me it'll put the fan base in a bad mood, I reckon.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling that he might start the first couple of games till we actually get a goalkeeper in, because I think they'll wait for Domino's to sing for a goalkeeper.
Have you got else you want to add, Danny, before I bring Russell?
No.
And then we'll hang around and see what time we've got at the end, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring Russ in for a chin wag now then, Danny. All right, buddy. Thanks for
that,
man.
All
right.
Buddy.
Bye, lad. My good mate Russ. Here he is.
How are you, lads?
I'm good, mate. Look at that face, and you always put me in a good mood. You all right?
No bad, Matty. Yourself?
I'm really good, mate. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to some little nuggets, because no doubt you'll have been looking, reading, finding bits out. What have you got on the ether? What have you heard? What do you reckon?
Well, as you may have seen if Joe put a video out earlier, I can tell people, as from what Joe mentioned earlier, Soufal is on the wanted list for Leeds United as a defender for right back, and he can also do a job at left back. Yep. So he's a decent option there. Big up to Sean at Wilco Wikes. Make sure you subscribe to Sean, guys.
Go on, Russ. Love it, mate. Soufal would be a top player to play behind Bogle, one of lads. You know, when you think he won't be coming in as first choice, will that? I mean, I've seen today, Russ, obviously, that Everton are linked with him again. It's a running theme. The David Moyes link. Is it something we can do when you've got a team like Everton with that Moyes link, you know?
I think so, because he's, as people have said, he already knows the way Moyes plays. Moyes knows the way he plays as well, so maybe that could be a factor in his decision making. But say if we get there, well, Everton's season's still ongoing. Who knows? I don't know for definite, but maybe our club at the minute is speaking like to the representatives of Soufal behind the scenes to see what his wage structure would be like and how much he'd want, and maybe same with Solomon, because I know that they are talking to Solomon behind the scenes, and Solomon is open to a Leeds move, even though Marseille have come in for him. And I want to point it back to for people listening as well. You mentioned about would Solomon come with Marseille having Champions League football? Ren had Champions League football, and we brought in Rafinha.
Rafinha, who's he? I've never heard of him before. Just the best player in the fucking world, Russ.
Yeah, we fetched him in. So who says we can't keep Solomon in, even though Marseille and Champions League football's on the offer for him as well?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's a great point, Russ, because I think we need to act brave. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to happen. Test the water. You'll never know what's going to happen. To me, everything we're going to get someone like Bielsa in the door. Never.
No.
Because why did we get him in? Because we tested the water. Just to see. Just to check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just think, all it takes is, all they can say is no. All they can say is no.
No, and we on that, Sean. You've got in Premier League. You've got to test the waters.
You need to act big.
Yeah, you know you do.
You're in the Premier League. You need to act big.
Do you know what it is though with that though, Russ? When what you just said there, I understand what you're getting with that. The whole Ren and Rafinha, I totally get it because it's very similar. But at that point, Rafinha had never played in Premier League. Solomon's played in Premier League. He knows what it's like. He's just won promotion with Leeds as well. He knows what the English game's like. Maybe just a change. You know what I mean? He's been there and done it. Yeah, I think he's still got to prove it in Premier League. I think he'll want to play in Premier League. But Marseille, that part of the world, European football, Leeds can't guarantee European football. If he wants to come to Leeds and sign a 4-year deal, there's every likely chance that in that 4-year deal, he doesn't see European football at Leeds United, whereas now he has guaranteed Champions League football at Marseille. That's where I'm coming at, and he's played in Premier League. Do you know what I mean? He's been there, he's done it.
Yeah, no, I mean, but maybe, because maybe his wife wants to stay, maybe his wife says she wants to stay in England, and because I know his wife will convince him to join Leeds.
She loves it here.
She loves it to Leeds.
Yeah, she does.
He's loved it since he's been there, so maybe he speaks to his wife, tells him the 2 options, and she might say stay with Leeds. Or
would he be a priority?
She'd be right there as well.
Yeah,
yeah. For me, I'd try and keep him in because then we've got his wingers sorted. Then Notto can play on the right, he can play on the left. We've got Solomon and Ramazani for the left, Nonto and James for the right, unless one of them goes, and then we'll look for another option. Yeah. So we've got his wingers sorted. So we won't need to worry about going out and buying a winger. We need a backup. We need a new number 10. I'd keep Harrison around for backup because just because matter though, he knows Farke's system. He knows the way Farke wants to play, so then he can help ease in the new number 10.
Yeah.
And then I'd keep Perot around. I'd get rid of Bamford. I'd get rid of Joseph.
I'd loan him out. I'd loan Joseph out.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say get rid of Joseph. I'd loan Joseph out.
Sorry,
well, I'd sell Bamford. We'll loan Joseph out. I'd keep, and then I'd bring in another right back, maybe Soufal, and he can play on both sides. So we've got someone like like Byron, on the right side, but can also do a job on the left. Fetching another natural left back in case Fairport doesn't stay.
Yeah.
And then, or maybe fetch 2 left footers in for left back. Soufal and Bogle Fadsaf for right back.
Yeah.
I'd probably bring in another centre back just in case Ferber moves on. And I'd also fetch in 2 centre backs. One who can play on the right, one who can play on the left. Even if Ferber does move, even if Ferber stays, so we've got cover there. So Ferber can cover left back, can cover centre, either side of centre back. But then we've got another natural left side of centre back. There's another natural right-footed centre back. So we've only got Road on, so we don't have to put Ampadu back in there. I know Ampadu's done well there, but I think in the Prem he could do a job in defensive midfield. I think that's where we may need him more in the Premier League. I'd maybe let Gruev go, but only if we can keep Rothwell. If we don't get Rothwell, I'd let Gruev go if we can get Rothwell in. Because I think with Charlie, we've got good players in the under 21s who are coming through who can fill that role as well. And we know the likes of Charlie Cruz had a full season out on loan, James had a full season out on loan. Now at Plymouth, I know they got relegated on the bottom end of Championship, but he's got experience being around Premier League side because we were on bench a couple of times when there was a Man City before he come to us. So we've got another option there, decided to keep him. From my understanding, for those wondering, the return list has been told to the players. The club didn't release it last year until June. So my understanding is they're going to release it in June again this year like they did last year. So that's what they've done past few years, release it in June.
Right.
So maybe that's why we're waiting for the return list. They did it in June last year. Just so anybody who's not watching, they've just gone into 2 minutes of stoppage time and extra time. It is still 1-0 to Coventry, 2-1 aggregate.
Is it going to penalties?
Looks like it could be going to penalties.
Oh, that'll be exciting. No one will be watching this. I'll tell you what you've just gone through there, though, Russ. That's potentially a shed loads of players needed. When you look at it, are you talking 7, 8, 9 players when you go through? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You actually look at it, it's a lot. I mean, we need to offload players for a fact. As much as you want to keep, Rothwell, which might, to be fair, if you keep Rothwell, you're gonna have to go buy him. You're not going to sell Gruev. We need to raise funds somewhere. For me, Harrison will have to go. Vauban will have to go. Joseph will have to go. There's going to have to be some people sold to get that sort of funds available for that
and
kind
also
of players.
And also for me, I think there may be one big player who played majority of the games last season. I'm not going to say which one I think it is, but I think there'll be one player who played majority of the games last season who could be sold a big player as well.
Meslier. Meslier.
Let it be Mes. Let it be Mes.
Maybe but I'm talking about outfield players, Sean. And I think, and when I'm thinking, I will say what I'm thinking. Okay, so other people may think the same. I think Stroud could be the sacrificial lamb this summer to get.
Sadly,
because he's got because I think actually the players that we had last season, with obviously other than Tanaka, Striker would probably be the one who'll generate more money. A lot of it will be profit.
Sadly,
Sadly,
I agree.
Go on, Russ says we'll go on, Sean.
Oh my word! Sunderland have just scored. Literally last kick game to the commentary after playoffs is 3-2.
Get in, Russ. Get in. Stop crying, Frank Lampard.
In off the crossbar as well.
Who scored it?
Just trying to work out. Just trying to see
it is Isidore. We'll have him.
You just trying to work out who it is. And just watch it on TV now.
Look at him, man. I love this guy. I love him. Who's got it, Russ?
Get in.
Some of the fans have just gone running. I think it is Isidore as well.
Is it not Kevin Phillips? No.
No, yes, you know Quinn.
Oh, class.
No, he's like Isidore because Isidore's still. His name was fantastic finish.
Fuck off, Lampard.
Pepper Rainier, 43. No, thank you. Hooray, the Maccabees.
He came from a corner, came in and header into the back of net. I think if I'm just looking, he's number 5. Ballard, I think it is. Ballard, header from a corner.
Ballard.
On the side of the crossbar.
Absolutely buzzing.
Absolutely brilliant.
Stop the
stream.
No, I'm up with that. Russ, what else do you want to touch on, mate, before I bring in my good friend Richard Hogan? What else have you got? What else do you want to touch on, pal? The floor is yours.
I just want to also as well, I'll be hopefully coming soon. Just if you don't mind me mentioning this, hopefully coming soon. I may be changing my channel name from what it is in the chat at the moment to do, and maybe starting up my own Leeds channel this summer. So keep an eye out for that.
Yes, Russ, please do, mate. Get stuck in, and I'll get your channel.
And also,
here, mate,
and also as well, guys, I'm also in a commentary channel on YouTube called the Commentary Hub. Also Commentary Hub 2 as well. And on the Commentary Hub 2 on Thursday evening, if anyone's bored and got nothing to do, Thursday evening, 8 o'clock kickoff, Charlton against Wickham, second leg of the League One playoff match. Commentary from myself, and you'll be able to hear it on YouTube, and I'll coming on the channel that's going to be on my phone in a minute into the chat, so then people can come and subscribe to that one, and get ready to subscribe to that one, and have a listen.
No problem.
That's great, Russ.
And then
that's great.
The final whistle has just this second gone. Sunderland have knocked out Coventry in the playoffs.
Come on, honestly, mate. Your enthusiasm, I love it. I need you to come to mine and make me breakfast. Get me in a right good mood for the day, mate. I love it, Russ.
If you did watch along, I'll gladly watch it.
He's infectious, isn't it? Imagine him on a watch along when it's actually his team. Chuffing hell. Sure you're not a Sunderland? Sure you're not a Mackham?
Big Leeds fan, and I've got Leeds stuff behind me. And just so if people who's not seen before, I have got when we got to the playoff final, signed shirt, which was donated by Pascal Stroud. Wow.
Love that, mate.
And you still want to get rid of him, yeah?
I think only because Sean, I think he'll generate the most money out of the squad other than Tanaka.
I actually couldn't agree with you.
But they will keep Tanaka. And I can tell you some of the commentary players are on the pitch crying right now.
Stop laughing, stop being so mean, Russ. Stop being so mean.
Yes, it sounds Frank Lampard.
It looks like Lampard started to cry. And even another one who's very, very happy is Mag Grimes. And his mum won't be happy either.
No way, no way. Right then, Russ. Thank you very much. Mate. Make sure you put your link in chat, mate, when you
we'll do.
come off here. Thank you so much for coming on, buddy.
Yeah, probably
Thank you.
coming to.
Thank
Well
you.
done, because I'm friends with Danny. Because I don't think I'm more than Matty. Well done. Send it to Danny on Facebook, and then Danny can put it into chat for us.
I'm sure Danny won't mind. That's great, Russ. Thank you so much, mate. Have a good week. Take care.
Yeah,
See you later,
we'll do
Russ.
that. All the best.
See you later, my friend. Bye bye, buddy.
See you later, Russ.
Love that guy. What an absolute legend.
Some enthusiasm.
Yeah, no, he is right. Bring on Richard Hogan. Love this guy as well. Love him. Hey up, buddy.
Either Matty, how are you? No, Sean.
Yeah.
Hey, Richard.
How's it going?
You've got a full of Russ's enthusiasm now, Russ.
He's just infectious, isn't he?
He's class,
Just
isn't he?
so infectious, yeah.
Such a nice guy.
He's a great guy, yeah.
Richard, honestly, the floor is yours, mate. I literally just want to know your thoughts on everything.
Yeah, I think I was just listening to Ben Bloom because it sounded like Coventry had kind of dominated that. They got that goal.
Yeah.
And they'll be sick over that. That'll be an absolute sickener because
dominated.
they've done all of the hard work dominating them. I think Sunderland just came strong in the last 5 minutes.
Buzzing.
Bang.
Makes it taste better.
Yeah, well, we love Frank to suffer, so
Can the
Fine
beat Wilder's Sheffield United though? Let's hope so.
I'd love it. I'd actually love to
well, they're like, in fairness, they were third and fourth. They're quite a distance the best third and fourth best team. So
yeah,
it probably is a true reflection of who should go up. So
it's
look,
mad when you
Wembley
think
is
about the
different.
form's been, Richard, isn't it? The form of both of third and fourth being that poor. A lot of us thought fifth and sixth actually had a chance, but actually it's sort of reverted back to
I was worried for Sunderland going in, like, because their form in the league had fallen off the cliff, but they were that much clear. Like, it just showed how poor Bristol City were, losing 3-0 over both legs.
But
You know,
Sunderland,
like, if Coburn had scored that goal at Burnley, at least Millwall would have given him a game. Like, they'd have turned up and they'd have been physical. Or, and yeah, man, is it Coburn? I think he was at Borough. Or if Burnley had won at, or if Millwall had won at Burnley, or got something at Burnley, that they could actually have got in, and they would have been a test. I think the Sheffield United guys were worried that they could get Millwall. That was the one thing they didn't want.
Yeah,
you know, so at least they'd have put up a fight or made it somewhat difficult.
100%.
Right. So what are we going to do?
Before we go into that, Richard, I haven't spoke to you since the celebrations and since Solomon's goal at Plymouth. Like, let's just end like we haven't really touched on that. Just the season in general. I've had my little mini meltdowns over little bits, but the last two seasons, 190 points, Richard. It's been fantastic, and
it is. Yeah. It's been a great season. We've been worthy champions. It would have been a bit of a sour taste for Burnley to win it with that defensive record and not to win the title, given the amount of good football that we played during the season. So yeah, it was important to probably get that winner, and probably from when we last spoke, Solomon really kind of took off. I know he missed that late chance in the Luton game, but that Luton game kind of was the turning point in a lot of ways. It seemed that we created lots of chances. Borough was a perfect game for us after that, given that we won it for last season. It was probably the only big game we won at the back end, but it kind of came at the right time, and it's a place that it's we have a good record up there, and it just kind of rolled from there. And like I said the last time, I think, Matty, like, at least we weren't losing. Sheffield United then had the 3-game defeats, and that that gave us the buffer that we were looking for. But look, at least we got the job done, and we don't have to be worrying about playoffs or any of that, because that was never probably going to be an option for us. I
think anxiety we'd have now, mate, if we as opposed to just sat here having a laugh, reflecting on three of the best weeks we've had in recent memories. Been belting week.
Well, work is kind of flat out for me, kind of from 1 to May. It's just the way it is. That's what I do. So it'd be absolutely terrible, like, to have to be anxious over that, and then having to work yourself into the ground as well. just wouldn't be good. The stress of it all just wouldn't be able to take it. But I have an interesting take on. I was just seeing your show, or seeing the program you did with Adam, and I definitely think Kearns is going to stay, and I think it would be a mistake not to offer Byron a year contract. As much for the homegrown side as anything
I'll
else.
keep him.
I agree.
I definitely be keeping the two of those. I'd agree. Like in regards to the goalkeeper, Meslier is the one that has to go.
Yeah.
The other two are worth keeping. The other controversial one I would have is I would have no problem with Koulibaly staying around if he was to be offered a 12-month extension. And I'm not saying as much for what he does on the field. Okay.
Yeah.
It's more so in regards to his presence within the dressing room and everything else. This is a relatively young squad.
Yeah.
Obviously, it depends on the other characters that we bring in.
Of course.
But like we spoke about, I think we were talking about free agents in regards to like the Boate and Francis Coquelin.
Yeah.
This was kind of out of the blue, but the effect that he's had on the squad throughout the season, just his, not just more so off the pitch in regards to the standards that he set, particularly for the younger players, Nanto and Ramazani, kind of keeping everything in line, in check when he needs to, but also been jovial as well. He strikes that balance quite well. Now, I understand he's over the hill. The flip side of that is that there's going to be a lot of games next season where we could be scrapping for points, 1-1, 1-1. You know, he's a big guy with 5 minutes to go. You can stick him on in the box.
Stick him on the front.
Well, no, but we're not an overly big team, but he has a bit of presence about him, and you know, there are potential cameos from there. Like he had a cameo at Bora, and you know, there are games like we're going to have a lot of those games next season. So I don't necessarily see keeping him in a bad move as well. It means that you don't have to go out and buy another player if you move him on.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of what I'm conscious of in regards to the Firpo thing. I'd be happy to keep Firpo and bring Ben Davies in and have that as your fullback options. In the same way as when Orlik Stufal out of West Ham, he's been released. Him and Bogle, they're two different types. One's more defensive, one's more attack minded. So for example, if you wanted to play Firpo and Stufal, or if you wanted to play Davis and Bogle, play it that way, have one attacking and one defensive on it.
I agree.
You know, so and as well as the outlay then on those is not as great.
Yeah.
So you have 120 million. So you're looking at goalkeeper, centre half, another 8, a 10, and a striker. So you're looking at 5, say, is what you're going to bring in at 20 million. That's your 100 million, and it's a little bit more. You're going to have to pay probably big money for your striker. Your goalkeeper is also going to be important.
Obviously,
so I would say that those probably 3 important areas of the goalkeeper, maybe the 10 and the 9, because you have to score enough, but you also have to keep out enough.
Yeah.
So going for Keller at 40 million isn't necessarily a bad move if he's going to keep out. You know, if his XG is going to be pretty decent.
Yeah.
You know, and it keeps you up.
It's amazing, Rich, is the 2 Irish lads that are saying it.
Love that.
Yeah. Can't have any more cocktails in this club.
As long as you're not coming around and saying Evan Ferguson and all other Irish players.
No. Look, Sean will tell you Evan's form hasn't been good enough.
It's kind of dipped even at international level. It's kind of dipped as well.
But like I think I said it to you last time. I think he scored. Didn't he score in one of the games? Did he score against Bulgaria at home, Sean? Didn't he? I think.
Yeah, he scored against Bulgaria at home.
But he hasn't got a goal for West Ham. Like,
no.
I mean, he would actually have been better off dropping down to the Championship and getting a bit of form, even with ourselves or with someone else in regards to just dropping down 11 and building himself back up again. But
like Paris have done better for the last little while for Ireland actually than Ferguson.
Sorry, who?
Paris done a bit better.
Yeah.
Paris done a bit better.
Yeah.
Is it a bit better for Ireland?
It's mad though, isn't it?
He's not one now I'd be interested in either in regards to
No,
not necessarily.
It's mad though because we were linked to Ferguson, weren't we? As a promotion hopeful, and then we've sealed promotion, and there's been no talk of Ferguson. It's obviously gone down to his form. They've obviously looked at it. It's not. It must have just been
I have no ideas in regards to tens or striking positions or who we should be going for or kind of what we should be looking at. So I'm all the names that have been bandied about. I haven't sat down and done any homework or had a chance to sit down and do any homework in regards to any of that. So,
Can I ask you a question outside the forward, Richard? Though? Do you think we need to go out there and buy an all singing, all dancing 30, 40 million pound striker, or do you think we need a different option to complement Pido, because that's what I think we need. Because I think Pido will get a shot at this role, but I think we need
I
someone.
think
He
so.
deserves a shot.
Yeah,
100%.
I
100%
think,
deserves a
I
go.
think we need
Well,
something
I-
a little bit like the dynamic. You know, we had Joseph and Pido fighting for that spot. I want something similar, but not to be Joseph. I want them to bring someone else in, a different profile, someone tall, someone strong, physical. I want someone like that to complement. And if Pido's not working, you've got someone with a different profile, rather than just saying we need a £40 million striker. Let's be sensible out this. Let's bring someone in who's proven. Let's bring someone in who's different body type, someone who's got some different attributes to what Pido's got, and let them fight it out.
Well, what does Pirro not do well? He's not a hold-up player.
No.
He doesn't give
he's
us an outlet.
better. He's got better, but he isn't.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But he's probably not a natural hold-up player.
No.
And that's why probably Pat compliments him well. So what you're looking for physical striker, can maybe run the channels, so has a bit of pace, physical, can hold the ball up and allow us to get out. And that's going to be really important next season in regards to us getting out, because, you know, teams are going to try and pin us. In regards to who's going, right? Okay, so we all agree, I think, that Mays should go. I would be of the opinion, and I think I said it kind of early on in the season, I would pay up Pat's contract if we could do that and move him on. I know he's adamant to stay, but I think really he should move now. You know, I think he should go and play championship football. That's the level that he's at. He's not going to get game time here, and he's taking up a slot on us here. You know, next season.
He's taking up slot that someone else should be.
Yeah. Okay. So in regards to a Joseph, okay, I suppose the idea is that you loan him out.
Yeah.
But financially, do you need to move him? So is it a case he's probably one that you're probably looking at? The others are probably Gruev and Strike. So it's probably one of those three as a probably a big maybe money move. Nonto maybe comes into that equation as well.
Maybe.
One of those four could go for somewhere between 20, hopefully somewhere close to a 20 million sum. Solomon is interested, and I don't know if any of you noticed, you might have seen this on TikTok, but I think Solomon's getting married in June. If I'm not mistaken, Matty. Yeah, I was on TikTok and I saw the other half had something up about, I think he had proposed or something in March.
Yeah.
And that they're getting married in beginning of June. So there's a lot if he's getting married, there's a lot of other stuff going on. So
there is.
He might just hang on. He might just hang on to the club for a little while.
Well, you said, I think you said, Matty, that she's been, she likes Leeds, which if she does living in Leeds, that's a huge thing. Because it can't be underestimated how important in regards to these decisions partners are, at this level.
100%.
There's seven Premier League clubs. Is there 7 London clubs in the Premier League? It's
roughly.
so easy to attract players to London. And Premier League, it's just, the city just makes it so easy for all of those clubs. Like you look at a club like Brentford, or an established Premier League club now, but their ability to attract decent players, from Europe because it's London.
Yeah, if Brentford wasn't in London, wouldn't get half the players they've got.
No. But so I mean, and then of course that means that we've 7 trips to London next season, where I'm probably not going to take many points.
Yeah, just to highlight this, what Justin says. Yeah, I mean, I think the Prem does suit Bamford based on the fact hear me out. Based on the fact he played his best football in Premier League, but what I will always say, what I will always say, behind closed doors affected it. The fact he was fully fit for the first time in a long time, really, that season. First time we've seen him play pretty much every game. You ain't going to get that again, Justin. Like, he played really well that year, and we all loved him, and he got an England cap, and everything he got were going his way, deserved it for that season or two. But you ain't going to get that again, Justin. So that's why I think, Richard and Sean and myself would agree that, we'd move him on. Now he's 70 grand a week on wage bill again. You look at that, what is the chances of him being here? We've seen a great version of him for last month at season, and it's made us all fall in love with him. Watching him play guitar again. It's made us have those emotions I felt 3 or 4 years ago. I've enjoyed I've enjoyed watching the celebrations. I've enjoyed watching him. I was at that game at Borough. He came on, he was fantastic. But what go on, mate?
Sorry, go on. No, go on, keep going. Sorry.
But for me, he ain't going to be fit enough, and it's such. I know he's at the club now, which stops him buying another striker, but the fact he's on 70 grand a week, that is huge. A player we could bring in and spend 50, 60, 70k a week on would be so much more vital to Leeds United to staying up in this division than keeping Patrick Bamford. So I'm just not too sure it needs to be kept down, Paul.
Sorry, just going to ask you, did you get your Patrick Bamford drink, by the way? He's put £5 behind the bar.
No, I didn't, mate. He'd already gone
You
by
didn't?
then, mate. No, he'd already gone, pal. By the time I got there, it was not.
You've probably seen you coming, mate.
Right.
Well, I went to bar. I went to bar.
Should have been limited to one per fad, like.
I went to bar and got around him thinking it's free, and then she said like 25 quid, and I was like, "Gutted, fair enough." But yeah, I think
content creators should have been top of the list. No, sorry, Pat got his England cap right on the basis of playing behind closed doors, and we've seen that when the pressure came on in the Premier League with Pat, he wasn't able to handle it. And that's nothing against him or anything as an individual or anything like that. He's never gotten the abuse and the death threats that he got, but he took the pressure on in those situations, in crucial situations where he needed to do the business, and he didn't do it. And I would prefer not for that chestnut to rear its head again. I think it's the right time for everyone in regards to him, for him and the club to move on.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and in the same with Mez, the time has come for the two of them to move on. You know, and like Patrick or Bamford gave us an outlet. Okay, they're at the back end of a couple of games. He still didn't score. I know he should have scored against Borough. I appreciate that, but like Danny hadn't been the hero down at Plymouth. Like, you know, he's going to get the winner off the penalty spot. Yeah. No, he did, but you know, so
it's because I agree on that one.
I wouldn't be listening too much now to Danny saying Mez is starting goal the first game of the season.
I hope not. I agree with you on this point as well, just in that Bamford was always rushed back. He always had a niggle. But I think we clouded in the judgment that because he's come back now, and I don't think he's got a niggle at me. I think this is the first time he's been fully fit in a few years, but he will not remain fully fit for a whole. It won't happen, Justin. I agree with that point, though. Every time he come back, we were rushing him back because we needed him back, and he broke down time and time, but he isn't going to remain fit. That is the issue, man.
But we got back fully fit for the end of the season. And if he was that as good as people, and if people were saying how good he is when he's fit, and he's rushed back and all, why did Fark never playing then?
Just in your title, your opinion, that's just my opinion. So you know,
Father Time is
that's the way I look at it. If that's what he thinks, that's fine. But you know, for me, no. I'm looking for someone. I'm looking for someone more quality who can put the ball in the net more regularly.
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
are you looking for someone with that profile though, just a better version?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
it's the one thing he's always had going for him, that Richard. His profile has always suited Leeds.
In regards to everything that he offers, the bit of shithousery as well. You know, that physical presence. You know, running the channels in behind. And it could be that person could be in Bundesliga or in Serie A or wherever. So look, I don't know. But I would say like the key positions are probably like Aronson is potentially another one.
Yeah,
that we're looking at.
What do you think about Aronson?
Well, and Aronson and Harrison probably together. Where does Harrison go? Like Harrison has played 5. Sean said it earlier about him. He's played most of his football has been Premier League football since we've been, but he hasn't in any way increased his value over the few seasons he's been at Everton. He's not coming back to Leeds. So where is he going? The other thing is that
he is coming back to Leeds until we sell him. If we sell him,
no, he's not. Not after the comments that his mother has made.
I hope
not. He's moving. You know, so there's a deal to be done somewhere. If it's a case the cut price deal and we make a loss on him and he goes to MLS or wherever, I have no idea. He's not.
Can you imagine training videos coming out, Richard, him training at Thorpe Park in a few weeks? Can you imagine?
I don't see that happening. I would say 49ers are too savvy for that.
I hope so.
I'd actually say,
you know, yeah, I know you were worried as well about Angus and so forth earlier on, and you know he's been appointed. I think I see today as chief executive. He's appointed yesterday at Everton. Right? So, but I'd be very surprised if Parag has allowed him to have carte blanche and to what we're doing. I know they're linked with an awful lot of players. and it could potentially be a problem in regards to suffering. But you know,
it looks
I
like
mean, we
he
should have been
has.
playing
That's
our
the thing.
cards much. We should play our cards much closer to our chest.
I don't
Whether
think
we did or
have
we
to.
didn't, we're going to find that out now over the next couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
we will.
You know,
No, that's fair.
Aronson, like, if Aronson goes, where does he go? He didn't rip it up at Union Berlin,
No.
so he's probably, not going to
Back
go back to
home,
Germany.
MLS.
I don't
That's
know.
his level.
I
That's his level.
I honestly, I don't know.
That's
Could
obviously his level.
Could he do a job off the bench?
Potentially. I mean, his energy off the bench would be useful, but he's probably another one in regards to if you got a good price for him, would you can you improve, and does him go and add to your budget? Like Hull are not in a position to sign Jaffe,
No.
so there's another
I
one
don't
for
know.
you.
I did not.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't think
didn't
so.
hear
No, I
that.
wouldn't think they have the money to make that deal. I was just watching.
I don't think they have.
I think I was watching Joe's White Rose Rivals show, and the lads were saying that they probably don't have the money to make that permanent.
They want another loan, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jaffe could get a loan higher up the table if he
Yeah.
wanted to.
I'd get Jaffe.
I know I wouldn't be I wouldn't be adverse to keeping him as a fourth choice option necessarily either.
Yeah.
I would have. I appreciate everyone would say, "Oh, he needs to go on loan to play X, Y, and Z, yada yada yada."
He's
But
not gonna get in.
like, just but you're keeping the likes of Byram. I'm thinking of keeping the likes of Byram, Karen, Sculavogi, Jaffe, but I'm keeping him as fourth choice option if you're scraping bare.
But Jaffe, what's
And
the
we're
difference?
talking about not having depth in the squad. Like, we
Well-
need to have a bit more depth in the squad than we've had. It's no point in being threadbare. This is a huge season.
But the big difference.
Next season is a huge season for this football.
Go on, Sean. What are you saying, Sean?
Can't be underestimated. Sorry, Sean.
I think the big difference. I think the big difference between Byram and Gilavogi and keeping them is the big thing is Jaffe's he's still young. He needs to be out.
His money goes back up too, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but
he's on U-Prem wages now.
He needs to be playing football. I'd actually send him off to to Leicester or one of the relegated teams.
I don't know. I think Leicester's going to be toxic next season with all the point deductions there, and they won't be able to afford him.
Send him to one of the top. I'd send him to one of the teams that
he wants to play higher than fighting relegation, Sean, doesn't he?
Yeah,
at championship level for me.
He should be fighting a promotion with the top team. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't be against sending them to a club kind of like Coventry or something like that. A team that had been.
No, we'd be intoxicated by flipping Frank then.
Frank's not going to be there next season. Don't worry about that. But someone like someone who is in around the playoffs next season, even someone like a Borough.
Yeah, he did very well at Borough.
Something like that. If for example, now he did go to Sunderland a couple of years ago, didn't he? But it didn't work out. He's been at Sunderland before, but he picked up an injury, it just didn't work for whatever reason. So, if they didn't go up, but it could be a case that they could go up because I think Sheffield United have a terrible record in the playoffs, and Sunderland have a decent enough record at Wembley, as we know.
Before we let you go, Richard, I want to know what you think about this one, Rothwell. So it could either be a really easy one, it's just a no-go, we need to improve, or are you thinking we should be looking at retaining him, mate?
Well, it very much depends on what else are we looking at. He has quality. He's got good set piece delivery. And we actually need someone who's got good set piece delivery because it could be a case that that's where most of our goals come for next season.
We might need that next season.
So, now look, if we can get a better all-round player who has better set piece delivery, then absolutely, yeah. Ideally as a striker, I would love to get someone like Jokovic, but obviously that's well beyond us. He'd be kind of the all-action number 9, but they're so hard to come by that he's going to have suitors like Champions League football. So but you're kind of looking for someone like that I would say that there are definitely guys within Bundesliga who are good enough to come and play. Now, we've been burned with players like Rasmus and Robin Koch before. So,
Harry
like
Kane,
I said,
getting back.
nah, Harry Kane.
No.
I would take. You know
I'll
who I
take
would
him.
take now?
I'll
You
take
know who I
him,
would
but
take?
what's gonna happen?
No, who I would take though, if he was interested in coming, would be someone like a Thomas Muller.
Oh, I won't think about it.
Yeah, I know, but he's leaving. Look,
Imagine.
Matt, it's
Imagine.
I know he's aged,
I like you, Richard. I like you.
but like he's quality, Matty. He is
Yeah, no,
quality.
I know.
He's quality, and
I think someone like that
he
on
would
training.
he would put himself about. He's a World Cup winner. Like people have been saying we should sign Jamie Vardy. Thomas Muller over Jamie
Jesus,
Vardy,
man.
like.
Oh, take anybody over Vardy. Oh,
Well, to me, Vardy is nothing without pace, and
yeah.
that's what he built. That's what he built the majority of his career on.
And he'd never come to Leeds either because he doesn't like he's open
Is
himself. He doesn't like Leeds.
is Nuno going to get the boot at Forest? Look the big Nuno. It looks a bit tetchy on Nuno.
Nuno will walk. Nuno should walk.
It was shocking. It was shocking seeing Ona come on and do that, wasn't it? It was shocking.
He's best mates with Kia Jarabshin, I think.
It was
Great
shocking.
guy at Forest, the other Forest thing. So
yeah, it's mad. I mean, he's probably been quite quiet there because they've had such a good season, but now they've slipped down a little bit. Although they've still secured European football for the first time in years.
Like
to see him do that, what a bit bad. Like
that's clean. That's cleaner vibes. That is.
Yeah, no, it is.
Someone going to finish 17th.
Before you go, buddy, what realistic position do you think Leeds are sort of looking at? What sort of? I know it's hard to say with no signings.
Look, anything above 17 would do me nicely, but ideally, something between 12th and 15th would be nice.
Yeah, a bit of breathing space.
Yeah, it would be.
Don't we want to Brentford do a last game and need to win? Don't want that again.
No. I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
Who's got that goal to keep it there, to keep us up?
Harrison, the main guy.
I know that season was all about the Ballon d'Or winner, of course.
It was all about vibes. It was all about vibes. That season was.
Yeah. Unbelievable. You know,
he better win it. He better win it.
He's just improved and improved.
Oh, he's unbelievable at the moment.
But what did I tell you, Matty? What did I say?
What's that?
They didn't want Arsenal and Barcelona to win because they weren't playing in the Club World Cup. What's happened?
Yeah, I know, mate. Yeah, you were right, buddy. Yeah, you did say that, yeah. Nice, man.
It's all a big conspiracy.
Yeah, it is,
because it is all about money. You can see it in the Premier, like we're talking about FFP and having to sell to stay up. If you're not in with the big fish, you know.
Nah, you're right.
But if this was 2000, 2002, 2003, we'd be saying the same thing.
Yeah.
We were one of the big fish back then. So.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. Hopefully we can get back there, mate. Hopefully we can get back there. A few years, hopefully. Anyways, right then, Richard. Thanks so much for coming on as always, mate.
No problem.
When you come on your
See
class.
Richard.
Take care. Have a good week.
Speak to you later, buddy.
Bye, mate. Bye. Right then, buddy. Now there was two. Let me just jig this around a bit. There we go. Get you bigger so I can see your handsome face. There we go. Have Leeds received the 8 million for Christensen? I would have thought so by now, buddy.
I'd say so by now.
You know, when you're thinking at PSR and stuff like that, I always forget you've got him to add into that. You've got the Graham money from last year. I always forget about those bits. Just,
I think that PSR team was a lot of rubbish because
it's a disgrace, is what it is.
Yeah, like if you think about like what we've sold basically last season. I don't know how we're in a PSR problem. This team have to buy to sell and all the sell to buy.
Mad, isn't it? When you think of how many we sold, the money we brought in.
Yeah, like
massive.
I don't think that makes sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
No, either way, mate. It's a shit way of doing it, and for it to have a rule change, everyone's got to sign off on it, and no one's gonna give that up with a chance. I mean, you know what worries me about Prem? I've said it a few times, Sean, is the fact that for us to stay up, we've actually got to be better than at least one side that's currently in the Prem. And I expect, don't get me wrong, you look at Spurs, you look at Scum, which has been very funny to see them struggle down at bottom end of the league.
It's bloody hilarious.
But I don't expect them to be 16 or 17 next year. I just don't. Let's hope they are.
I expect them to. And I hope they bloody well are.
Well, in that instance, and if they're going to be that far down league, you're saying we'd have to relegate a Spurs. Or based on this season, we'd have to relegate a Spurs to stay up.
Relegate Scum. Fucking brilliant.
I'd love to, but I just think the likelihood is
this last game of the season. we win to stay up. We send Scum down. It'd be fucking
it's
brilliant.
mad, mate. It'd be class. It's likely though we're going to be like in a bit of a dogfight with your Evertons, maybe your Palaces, those sort of West Hams, maybe. It's mad to think we'd have to jump, send one of them down with whoever comes up via playoffs and obviously Burnley. It's quite a big ask, mate. When you look at the quality of some of these sides, mate, that's my worry, that's my niggle, and I think we're good enough to stay up. But when you look at, we will have to relegate a West Ham, one of these sides, and they are big sides with quality and depth what we ain't got yet.
But that's why I think I would advocate to keep as many players as we can. And but add to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think you might be right with the terms of we may have to sell. Players. No, but if you're going by that logic, then we might have to sell one big player.
Yeah,
I'd rather sell the mass.
I'd rather sell one big player than sell other players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather sell one big one.
Who's your non-negotiable, as in terms of who you would not sell no matter what? Who's the one? Is it Tanaka? Obviously,
that's a silly question.
He's the one.
A silly question.
I was going to say Ampadu.
I'd sell Ampadu.
I know you. You're the only person saying it, mate. You're the only person.
No, Daddy as well. Daddy said it as well.
Yeah. But to be fair, when you look at last season, Sean, we lost 3 of his big hitters. Somerville, we all knew were going to go. Rutter hurt. Archie tore us out and stamped it all over the floor for a little while. I don't feel like Bartanaka. I love Ramazani. I love a lot of these players, but I don't feel like we're going to lose 2 or 3. And if we did, I don't know if it could ever hurt as much as losing Archie and Rutter did last season. I'm not too sure because
it hurt me if we lost Tanaka.
That killed me. Tanaka's probably the one, innit? Tanaka's the one.
Kill me, it would.
Do you think he can make the step up to Prem fairly easy?
I think so. Yeah.
He's the dead cert for me. That'll fit right in. You think?
I think the Premier League is going to fall in love with him next season.
Yeah, I do.
Fall in love with him.
Mate, we're so lucky to have a player like him. For how much we bought him for. The fact he's Japanese and he brings all that audience to Leeds in the Premier League. Tanaka could be an absolute goldmine, not only in terms of the way he's on the pitch, but off the pitch, commercial-wise, Sean. He could be the best signing we've made in years and years.
I think it's the best signing we've made since Pablo.
Since for Rafinha.
I still think Tanaka's been a better signing for the price we paid for him.
Yeah.
For the price we paid for him.
100%. I mean, we bought Somerville for cheap and we sold him for 30 million. If Tanaka goes to Prem and has a really solid season, you're probably talking 40
Don't
plus.
sell
You've got to be, haven't you?
Can't sell him. You just can't sell him.
Well, that's the worry. That's the worry, isn't it? That's the worry. Getting Premier League football keeps him this season. Let's be fair, Sean. If we wouldn't have come up, we'd have had to sell him. I would assume. We've gone up. We've kept him. How long can we stay with the players we love? How long will they stay at Leeds while ever we're not a European side? How long will that take? That's
Stop saying things like that, mate. Stop saying things like that, mate. You know,
mate. I'm just poking bear, mate. I'm just poking bear. No, I love it, mate. Yeah, just winding you up with that. Rodon, Andy. Just a word on Rodon, Sean. Man, I had you on for a while. So Rodon, how good's he?
I think he's covered so much ground and so much mistakes that's happened at the back. Yeah. I think he's covered so much mistakes at the back, including stuff with Ampadu and Stroke and stuff like that. There's the one constant that's been there is being Rodon, and he's covered so much blade of grass. It's like he's thinking almost like a sweeper. He's thinking almost playing like a sweeper almost.
Has he played or has he started every single league game for 2 seasons? I can't remember ever. Yeah. I think he's played every game. He has, hasn't he? Every single league game.
He got sent off against Wolves, I think, against Hull last year, no? I think he got sent off. I think he might got a second yellow against Hull, I think.
But we've never. I don't think we've started a league game in 2 years where he hasn't been on team sheet. I'm pretty sure he's, apart from cup games, maybe he's played every league game, hasn't he? I'm sure of that.
I'm fairly sure he's
never been
had one
injured.
suspension.
Oh,
He's had one
hasn't he?
suspension. I'm fairly sure.
Fair enough. We'll see what anyone in chat know
Second
that. 'Cause
yellow
I feel like I've
could be
never seen
wrong.
him not playing league, but
Yeah, but
I can't remember last.
Yeah, but he's only like 1 or 2 games. He's only missed 1 game or something like that, I think.
Maybe, like you say, he's probably played the most minutes under Farker out of any player.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's he got sent off, said Danny. So yeah, he got sent off, and if it were 2 yellows, it'd have been a 1-match ban, won't it? So fair enough. I can't remember that happening. To be fair,
I think it might have been against Hull or Swansea. So I can't remember who it was against. It was a midweek game, and he got himself sent off.
Was sent off against Hull. Missed Stoke away last season.
Yeah.
So that's the game where we made a few changes, wasn't it? Gruev came in and we got beat, didn't we? And Bamford missed a penalty. Stoke away last season. Yeah, what a shocker, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that.
That was a disaster, that was.
That was an awful one, mate. Lee says he's all over TV at the Mo Tanaka on the grapevine. Oh, honestly, he's gonna be class.
He's gonna be huge.
Yeah, 100%. He's going to break out markets, like you say. Wayne says, I think the majority of our players are good enough for the Premiership, apart from the odd player. And yeah, I think the odd player that isn't good enough for the Premier League might be your Byrons, might be your Gilavogies, who Richard just touched on, but they're probably players we'll keep around. But
I think they're good backup options, though.
Yeah, 100%. To be fair, mate, when I did that buy, sell, keep, loan thing with Adam, I don't even think we put Gilavogi down. I can't remember speaking about him. Which is pretty bad, really, when you consider. I don't think he'd seat pitch, just like I don't think Badham will seat pitch. But he is right in what he was saying. You do need these characters around. You need these people in the dressing room. You think how much sort of professionalism we've lost with the likes of, your Coopers, your Aliens, your Dallases, all these players going in the last couple of years. We do need some of them.
I think the biggest mistake we made when was losing Hernandez and Berardi and Alioski in one crack and not replacing them. Because they were 3 big lads in the changing room that were the heart of that changing room, you know what I mean? Heart of that Bielsa side. And we didn't replace them. Then it was all down to Cooper kind of thing, and Click had his problems with Jesse and we all did.
We fucking did, mate. Anyone did not have a problem with Jesse? Bloody hell.
I think Cooper, because he seemed to always play and back him, and we had that as a captain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Be quirky. I think you're right with that, mate. I think when I look at the sides we're going to be competing with to stay up, I think West Ham, when you look at who they're losing, they're going to be losing Soucek. They've let Danny Ings go, Cresswell, Fabianski. They're losing like 4 or 5 of the like we've just touched on there, experienced players. That could be too many players leaving at once for West Ham. Hopefully, we can drag them into it.
Whereas I think it was a bit like that for us, and we lost 3 in one crack.
Yeah, 100%. Bob Parag said we need to sell for PSR. For me, that's not on Joe's. I think, for me, when I look at it, right, I think you've got your obvious ones. Your Voba has to go. I think your Harrison has to go. You've got your Joffreys, all these loan plays you might get a few mil for. Fair enough, right? Then I look at it and go, Aronson, I'd like to sell him. Profit-wise, we'll make a bit, but not much. Then you look at, there is some other players. You Gruev, you'd make a profit on Gruev. Strauk, Nonto, and Joseph for the free, Sean. Yeah.
You got Strauk for virtually nothing.
Yeah. How do you rate Strauk? Are you a Strauk fan?
Yeah, I like Strauk. I do, but like everybody else, I think he's lost that. I think it's just his pace lets him down a little bit.
So is he a worrying prem for you?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I think there's better centre backs out there, you know what I mean? I just like him on a Vede and stuff like that. I think he'd be great son.
I think so too. The thing is with Pascal, I think if he sits down with Farker and the coaching staff on the board and they have a serious conversation about where they think he'll be next season, I think he'll probably get. I don't know whether it happens in a football team if they actually sit down and go, you'll be a bench option. I don't know if that's how it works, but I think it's common knowledge that if we keep Pascal, we're going to be bringing in a top draw centre half, and for me, he will partner Rodon. So if Pascal's going to get wind that he's going to be a bench player in the Premier League, when he's played Premier League, he's been as captain, he's vice captain. Will he actually want the move? It may work for all parties. I think if we can have Pascal on bench, outstanding.
Yeah.
Will he want to sit on the bench? Will he want to be on bench though, mate? That's the question.
That's the sad thing. I don't think he will.
Yeah, I know. I think he'll move on for that, mate.
I'd love him to stay because I like him. I'm very much. I like him. I like him more than Ampadu. I think I just, as a person, I like him. And he's been there through. Maybe it's a bit of recent bias fact to him. You know what I mean, or whatever. That I kind of still had that soft spot for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. 100%. Well, then, anyway, have you got what else to touch on before we wrap up? Because I'm absolutely knackered. I've had a horrible day, to be fair, but you've cheered me up, and Russ cheered me up, and Richard and everybody else been on. So thank you so much. Oh, to touch on, Sean, before we leave it, pal.
Just want to touch on. Thanks for letting me on with you. And
definitely not, mate. Yeah, I love it. I love you, man. I love it. We have nice chatting. WhatsApp group, don't we, buddy?
Yeah, we do. And the thing is, anybody wants to be a member, subscribe to be a member and get into the WhatsApp group. It's always been a bit of cracking. It's always getting a bit of transfer news and a bit of light-hearted banter with it as well.
Yeah, there is, mate. It's usually coming from your direction too, Mr. Heeley. As always, wouldn't expect something else. Even the other Leeds bros have validated you're a top guy, mate. So hopefully I'll meet you. Hopefully I can meet you one day as well because you're a top guy. But unfortunately,
I'll try to go out when I go out to Leeds next season. I'll try to meet up with you.
Right. Do you try and get to a game a year or a couple? How's it normally go?
I try to get out to. I try to go out to about 2 or 3 a year.
Yeah.
If I can, you know what I mean.
Difficult for you guys. I mean, what a support we've got. You know,
flights wise, it's easy, but it's just trying to get the tickets and stuff like that. Like,
of course it is, mate.
We trying to get tickets. Like,
we all know about that, mate. It's a shocker, isn't it? And it's only going to be harder. What you'll probably find is, Sean, it'll be solid for first 4 home games, and then if it's not going where we want it to go, they might get a little bit easier as season goes on. But in the Prem, if we're doing well as well, it's going to be absolute shocker, isn't it? But exciting times.
Yeah, well, on the fact it will probably struggle the first 3 or 4 games anyway, like we always do. So we have to get a couple of tickets.
We can't afford to start slow, though, can we? So yeah, let's hope.
That's gonna be a big problem. Well. That's my big problem with it. He tends to start slow. We cannot start slow because he's gonna come back and bite us. Because you can get away with that in the Championship.
I love that. I wasn't sure how short you were. I thought you were a myth, and then I saw your pictures with all the Leeds girls, and I thought,
Jesus Christ. Yes, you're a Jer. Jesus Christ.
Mate, how tall's Jer? Like 6'2" or something, 6'3"?
About 6'6" or something.
Is he? Is he proper tall? Is he?
I'm only 5'5". Foot difference, like, Jesus Christ.
Class, man, absolutely class. Yeah. Tickets, Shane Dalton, tickets are gold dust, man. I'm 51 from Dublin. I always had trouble getting tickets, except when Old Lady was manager. Well, I knew his aunt. They got as if he got tickets in Old Lady era. Class.
Yeah.
Top Banana, great chat tonight. Thanks for everyone that has been on, except Sean. Lol. Is Sean a frequent flyer or is he a boat man? Are you a flyer?
Oh, flyer.
You are a flyer. I know that. You are. Sean is a flyer. He is a bloody flyer. Trust me on that one. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming on, Sean. Thanks for everybody else. And thanks to chat. Have a good week. Take care. And I'll see you at some point again this week. I don't know when, but I'll let you know. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
See you later.